Chapter 4, Lessons 6, 7, and 8. All three of these lessons go together, so I'll spend a little bit of time on 6 and 7 and 8 so they can have an idea of how they're all related. A reciprocal, for example, we have 3/4, and the reciprocal of 3/4 would be 4/3. That's because each of these numbers together equals 1. If I change this to multiplication, I would get 12 over 12, and that would equal 1. So anytime they see a fraction and it asks for the reciprocal, all they're going to do is flip it. The exception is if it's a number like 1/4. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4 over 1, but this is an improper fraction, so we have to change that. 4 divided by 1 is just going to be 4. So the reciprocal of 1/4 equals 4. And when we divide fractions, we use the KFC method. This helps kids remember, they think of Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that way they do it: keep, flip, change. Even though we're dividing fractions, we're not actually dividing because we're going to change it to make it a multiplication problem. So we keep the first fraction. No matter what that fraction is, we leave it alone. We flip the second fraction. We turn it to its reciprocal, and we change the sign from division to multiplication. Now, just like multiplication, anytime we have a whole number, we always put that whole number over a 1. So this is going to be 3 over 1 divided by 3/4. Now we can do the KFC. Keep the first fraction, change the second fraction, flip the second fraction to its reciprocal, and then we change the sign to multiplication. So now we have 3 over 1 times 4/3. Now they can go ahead and multiply across and get 12 over 3, or they can cross cancel to make it easier. So 1 and 4 can't go into each other, but 3 and 3 can. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 into 3 goes one time. Now I can multiply. 1 times 4 is 4 over 1, and that's an improper fraction, so 4 divided by 1 would be 4. In this problem, we have the whole number on the right side, so we do the same thing. We put a 1 underneath the 5. Then we are going to keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction, and then we're going to change the sign to multiplication. I can't cross cancel here, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 4, is 3. 4 times 5 is 20. I do have to reduce it if possible, put it in its simplest form, but for this one I don't have to, so my answer is just going to be 3/20. So that is how we multiply fractions with divide fractions with whole numbers. Lesson 7, now we're going to just be multiplying or dividing fractions, two fractions instead of one fraction and one whole number. And the keep, flip, change, of course, applies to this as well. So 1/8 divided by a half. So we're going to keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction, and then we're going to change the sign. Now we can either multiply across or we can cross cancel. So 1 and 1 can't do anything with that, but 2 and 8. You can cross cancel there to make it smaller so it's easier to multiply. You won't have to do that much reducing. So 2 goes into 2 2 times. I'm sorry, 1 time. 2 goes into 2 1 time, and 2 goes into 8 4 times. So now I can just multiply 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 1 is 4, and my answer is 1/4. Here we have 5/6 divided by 2/3. So I'm going to keep, flip, and change. So now I have 5/6 times 3/2. Again, I want to cross multiply because I don't want 15/12. So 5 and 2 can't do anything there, but I can cross cancel 3 and 6. So 3 goes into 3 1 time, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So now I just go 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 2 is 4, and I have to change this to a mixed number, so 5 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 1 time, and I have 1 as a remainder, so that becomes my numerator, so I have 1 and 1/4. Now this right here, we've done this before when we multiplied fractions, so they know how to do this already. This was part of the work that they had, so let's do number 2 together. 3/4 divided by 2/3. So this is just going to be 3/4. This is going to be 3/2. And can't cross cancel. So 3 times 3 is 9/8. 8 goes into 9 1 time. 9 minus 8 is 1/8. So 1 and 1/8 will be your answer for number 2. Number 3 is the one we did back in lesson 6. So you'd have 3 1/4 times, divided by 9/1, and that's going to be changed to 3/4 times 1/9. And then we can cross cancel here. 3 into 3 goes 1, 3 into 9 goes 3. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 3 is 12. So 1/12. Lesson 8, now we're going to be dividing mixed numbers. So the first thing about dividing mixed numbers is you have to change your mixed number to an improper fraction. They had to do the same thing when they multiplied numbers, so this isn't anything new to them. So the way you change a mixed number to an improper fraction is you multiply the denominator times the whole number, and then you add the numerator. So you go in a counterclockwise circle. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, and your denominator stays the same. So 3 2/3 changed to an improper fraction would be 11/3. So here I have 2 2/3 divided by 1 1/6. So first thing I need to do is change my mixed numbers to an improper fraction. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8/3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7/6. So this is 8/3 divided by 7/6. Now I do my KFC. Keep my first fraction, flip my second fraction, and change the sign. So I can do and get 48/21, or I can cross multiply. Can't cross multiply 8 and 7, but I can cross multiply 6 and 3. So 3 into 3 goes 1, and 3 into 6 goes 2. So 8 times 2 is 16. 1 times 7 is 7. 7 goes into 16 2 times. 16 minus 14 is 2/7. So when we have an improper fraction, think of this as saying 16 divided by 7. Your remainder becomes your numerator, and your denominator stays the same. And that's how we get 2 2/7. So I have 6 2/3 divided by 2 6/7. Let's change this to a mix to an improper fraction. 3 times 6 is 18 plus 2 is 20 over 3. And 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6 is 20 over 7. Now I do my keep flip change. 20 over 3. Flip my second fraction. 7 over 20. And change the sign to multiplication. Now you have numbers like this, a lot of times students get scared because they see big numbers. But all they have to do to remember is if they can cross multiply. You can't do that there. But here we go, 20 and 20. 20 goes into 20 once. 20 goes into 20 once. 1 times 7 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. So that's saying 7 divided by 3, 7/3. It's an improper fraction. So 3 goes into 7 2 times, which is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. With the 3, denominator stays the same, so 2 and 1/3. So let's do a couple of the problems from the book. Again, this can be cross-multiplied, so 2 goes into 2 one time. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 13 times 2 is 26. 1 times 3 is 3. So 3 goes into 26 8 times, which is 24. 26 minus 24 is 2/3. So that's your answer for number 2. Number 6, you have A, B, and C. What is the total weight of the birdseed they bought? Well, we're using this right up here. So 5. They bought 5 3 3/4 pound bags of birdseed. So now they have to go back to doing multiplication. So this is going to be 5 times 3 3/4. You have to put the 5 over a 1, and you have to change your mixed number to an improper fraction. So you're going to get 15 over 4. Now they're not going to do the KFC here because this is multiplication. They're just going to go ahead and multiply it straight across. You get 75 over 4, which once they reduce or once they change that to a mixed number, they're going to get 18 3/4. They're going to then divide 18 3/4, divide it by 1 1/2 to find the answer for B. And whatever's left over will go here, because they're going to have a mixed number as an answer for part B. All they want to know is how many bags can they fill. So they're going to have a whole number, and then whatever fraction is left will be the answer for C. Hope this helps, and we'll see you later.